What's up guys, PlayStation Kings here, and today we're doing the PC Building Simulator stream, and today we're going to be experimenting with overclocking because last night I decided, because the game is out of early access now, so the full game is released, it's no longer in early access, and with that they released the Overclocked Edition DLC for $5, or you can buy, or there's a sale going on right now at the time of this stream that you can buy the game and the Overclocked Edition DLC together for like $22. It's on sale right now as the bundle. But some new parts they added. Graphics cards. We got Founders Edition cards, including 2070s and 2080s Ti's. So they're at the very bottom. As you can see, we got 1060, 1070, 1070 Ti, 1080, and 1080 Ti Founders Edition cards. And we also have RTX 2070, 2080, and 2080 Ti Founders Edition cards. Memory is not really anything new here, I don't think. Power supplies. For the game release, they did partner with Thermaltake, so we got more Corsair stuff. So we have Corsair, more Corsair power supplies. So we got 750 watt, 1000 watt, 850 watt, and 1600 watts. That's Corsair's AX 1600i. And then we got Gigabyte and Gamerstorm power supplies. And then we also have two Thermaltake Smart Pro RGB, we have two Thermaltake RGB power supplies. One's 850 watt and the other one's 1200. Case fans. The only new ones that I noticed were these. I'm pretty sure are new. Like they're basically like the ones at the top that have always been in the game, except the blades are a lot smaller, so there's a lot less blades on them. As you can see, noticeable difference. We got deep cool fans, including Gamerstorm MF120s. And then we also have some Thermaltake Pure Plus 12 LED RGB, and then we have Ring Plus 12 and Ring Plus 14. The only difference between Ring 12 and Ring Plus 12 and Ring Plus 14 is that the Ring Plus 12 is 120 millimeters, and then the Ring Plus 14 is 140 millimeters. That's the only difference in them. They're different sizes. And with that, they're also going to have better airflow. Because it's bigger, because the Ring Plus 14 is bigger, it's gonna have a lot more airflow. Cases. If you buy the Overclocked Edition content, yeah, you'll see we've got Deep Cool and Gamerstorm cases. We got Gamerstorm Tristellar, Genome. It's the Republic of Gamers Certified Edition. And we have Deep Cool, more Deep Cool cases, and we have the Gamerstorm Quad Stellar, and we have a Electro Limited Edition Quad Stellar. And then if you buy the Overclocked Edition content, then that'll give you access to the NZXT H700 Extinction Wars, this one, and the H500 Reanimator, which is this one. They basically just have special designs, like libraries on them. Thermaltake cases, we have the View 37, so it's like the acrylic glass with like the curve on there. We have the View 91 RGB, which is what the so-called server's built in. We have the Core P5 and the Core P5 Green Edition, which in my opinion, that green is just ugly. But I have only overclocked one PC in this. It was last night before I went to bed. I overclocked the Quad Stellar over here at like 11:30 at night last night, and it's currently 9:34, and I've been awake for 20 minutes. So yeah, I'm looking to overclock this one, which I've spent a total of $9,400 on. This one it's a Threadripper build. It's got the Strix X399E gaming board, a Threadripper 2990WX, Corsair AX 1600i, which is a 1600 watt one, 128 gigs of Trident Z RGB RAM, all rated at 3866 megahertz. We got two 2080 Ti Founders Editions cards and SLI. We've also got 20 terabytes of hard drive space and 1.2 drive, which is 960 gigs. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Ring Plus 14 RGB fans in this case. So there's 4 right here, there's 2 under here, and then we've got 8 here in the back, which is complete overkill. Also, the Threadripper 2990WX we have to keep it cool somehow, so I did put it in a custom loop. And as you can see, it's ready to boot. It's got all the available the available apps on here. I think I'm gonna start overclocking this one first, but to show you how much I was able to overclock this quad stellar build. So it's got the AX 1600i again, because it's a really good one for overclocking. Two 2080 Ti's, however, they are not in SLI. And we have a 7980XE and a custom loop. And again, 128 gigs of Trident Z RGB at, what was the rate? 3866 megahertz. And this build came out to be $10,900, not just shy of $11,000. This is all on the Rampage 6 Extreme motherboard from Asus. And then we got a bunch of GamerStorm fans in there. We got 1 in here, we got 2 in the drive bays, 1 on each side. We've got a radiator down here, and then there's 4 going across here. So there's like 3 right here, and then you can barely see it, but there's a 4th one up there. 4th one up there is the one that's up here, right here. Up here, right here. I don't know what I'm saying. But this is a black and white theme one, as you can probably tell, with the light liquid and black. So this PC, also one thing I figured out last night, this game is actually fully functioning with a controller. Like, I just turned on my PS3 controller and I'm moving it around right now. This game is fully functioning with controller and even shows you the controls, what buttons push. So before I overclocked the RAM, CPU, and GPU on this quad stellar build. Before I started overclocking anything, I got a 3D Mark Times by Extreme score of 17,286. After overclocking everything, I was able to get 19,531 on Times by Extreme. And I've just got select wallpaper on here, OCCT and GPU tuner, which are both required to overclock GPU. Lighting for the RGB, and 3D Mark Advanced Edition, which is just a Times by Extreme. But I'm actually going to try and challenge myself and see if I can do all this. Actually, no, I'm not going to do it with controller. I don't really feel like it right now. But I'm going to start with this build. I built this last night just before I went to bed, planning on streaming it this morning. This is, again, 2 RTX 2080 Ti's and SLI, and a Threadripper 2990WX and a custom loop, being cooled by a 240 radiator and a 360. So like, what it does is comes out of the reservoir, goes into the 360 rad, out into the CPU block, out of the CPU block into the 240 rad, and then out of the 240 and back into the reservoir. So technically, the water gets cooled twice before it hits this. So like, it goes through here, goes up into here, so it's getting hit by 2 radiators before it actually reaches the CPU block, so it can reach nice and cool. I do have one Corsair 960 Pro, or Corsair MP500 960 GB M.2 drive. Yeah. Here we've got 64 gigs of ADATA Spectrix D80. They're water-cooled RAM. No, I'm doing air quotes when I say water-cooled because I don't really believe that, even though it does still look really cool. All rated at 4133 megahertz. And this system has not been overclocked yet. Actually, to be completely honest, I filled the reservoir. I haven't even powered it on yet. Like, it just hasn't even been powered on yet. All I did was I built it, I filled the res, and then I turned off my monitors and I went to bed. Here, we're going to go ahead and power it up. Well, wait. Yeah, I actually have powered it on one time. I haven't overclocked it. I haven't touched the overclocking. The only thing I've done is I powered it on, I installed everything, and I adjusted the RGB lighting. That's the only thing I've done with this system. I haven't done anything else. I've been saving it for the stream. But this system... Okay, so apparently because people in my house need Wi-Fi to survive, I lost connection, so I've already started the Time Spike stream. I haven't done any overclocking to the system yet. This is I'm doing this one. I'm gonna overclock this one first, and then I'll move over to the server, because my plan is to have a water-cooled overclocked server. But right now I'm just running Time Spy Extreme. As you can see on this part, we're getting a solid 110 FPS. 17,324. Okay, so let me go ahead and write that down. 17,324. Okay, and now, I'm gonna close this out. Go ahead and restart the system and enter the BIOS. Hold down delete on my keyboard. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start with the RAM. So I do actually get a little bit of help for overclocking. I do go, so if you open the Steam thing, and there's actually, they added a lot of they added a bunch of achievements when they got out of early access. Like, for example, one is 1920 by 1080, where install a Threadripper 1920X and a GTX 1080 or 1080 Ti. One thing I noticed, it doesn't actually work with the 1080 Ti. It has to be a 1080. So it says you can do it with a 1080 Ti. It didn't work for me. I had to do a 1080. I just did 1920, the 1920X and the 1080 Founders Edition. And then overvolted, break your CPU. I've done that. I don't know why I didn't count that, but I've done that before. I did that a couple days ago. But Basic Guide to Overclocking in PC Building Simulator by Big Dave. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the RAM. So you kind of want to look at his chart that he's made right here. So what you want to do is, in the game, you want to find what your RAM is at stock. So 2666 megahertz at 1.35 volts. So you want to find that. The max you can go to is 3000 at 1.6 volts. So go ahead and up the voltage and 3000. Settings, apply changes, and restart. There we go. Now the RAM is overclocked. We finished overclocking the RAM. It's all overclocked. Now, gonna go ahead and do the CPU. See, note the starting CPU speed in megahertz. This is what your actions will be increasing. Increase the ratio of 5 or 6 ticks and increase voltage to around 1.70. You can increase base clock too if you like, but this will also change RAM speed under RAM overclock. If you do this, you may need to increase the RAM voltage to compensate, making sure not to go so high as to break the RAM. 1.80 volts is usually safe for RAM. I'd advise changing only one speed setting at a time, either ratio or base clock, and testing each time. That will make it easier to track down problems. I'm just going to be adjusting the ratio. I'm not going to adjust the base clock. I'm just going to mess with the ratio. Okay, so I'm not actually going to be using, well, I'm going to be using both those. When I overclocked the Quad Stellar build, I didn't actually use OCCT when I was overclocking the CPU. I only used that when I overclocked the GPU. But I may have to do that so I can get this one to its full potential. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and restart the system again. And power's on. Gonna hold delete again to enter the BIOS once again. CPU overclock. Voltage, gonna set it to 1.7. And ratio, gonna up that 5 ticks. Apply changes and restart. This time we're not gonna enter the BIOS because we want it to boot up. Okay, so now, automatic, gonna go ahead and turn this on. I'm gonna watch for the CPU throttling. Okay, so the CPU did not throttle, which means we may be able to go up one more tick. So, we start, and we're trying to up it up one more, and we're going to go up one more each time until the CPU throttles, and then we'll go back down one more so we hit the max that we can. Up one more. Go ahead and run OCCT. So the max is 86, so I should be able to go up one more. So the CPU did not throttle, so let's go ahead and up it one more. I have a feeling it's going to throttle this next time, though. OCCT. We gotta watch for the CPU throttled on the max. That's all I'm watching. And I'm also watching the max temperature. Oh, the CPU throttled. So the last round was the max we could go. Okay, CPU throttled, yes. So let's go ahead and bring it back down one more. CPU speed. Okay, so we were able to overclock 2990WX to 4.3 megahertz. That's the max we could get it to. So now, go ahead and apply and restart, and next all we have to do is the GPU. And then we'll run 3D and see if we increased or decreased. Okay, so we want to get OCCT and GPU tuner and have them side by side. Okay, so GPU tuner, we're going to up the core voltage all the way, so 120%. And the core clock, we're going to set that to about 3/4. And memory clock, we're going to leave that alone because we already yeah, we're just going to leave that alone. So now we're going to go ahead and apply that. Test type infinite. So it's the GPU, and let's go. What am I looking for again? Okay, initial GPU temp around 94 degrees and keep power draw below your power supply limit. If you are well below both of these, slide the memory clock to the right and hit apply. Okay, so 10, 93, now okay. Okay, so memory clock to the right. Oh. Okay. It's just a steady, tedious process that you got to go through if you want to overclock. Okay, so I'm gonna try to bring that down a lot, kind of 1856. Actually, let's bring it back down to the Huh. Okay, so that's back to default. Let's go ahead and up that 10. And if it doesn't blue screen, we'll be able to go up one more. Yep, it blue screen. So now we gotta start going down. It's probably gonna blue screen again, I'm betting. Here we go, it's rising. Yep. I'm gonna bring that down to +4. Yep. I'm just gonna bring down the +1, so like +1 megahertz from what it was at before. And if that's too much, then we'll have to leave it at what it was before I touched it. And Horizon temps, here we go. Blue screen, yes or no? Oh, +1 is safe. What if we do +2? Do +3. Okay, so +2 is the safest. +2 is the max we can go. Make sure it's not going to blue screen at +2, even though we already have it. I just want to double check. Yep. Okay. So +2 on the core voltage is the max we can do. Or core volt, whatever that was. I don't think it was core voltage. Okay, so now all we gotta do is run 30 mark and see how far we've gone up, or if we've gone up or down. Okay, so we achieved 1 FPS on the front. (144 FPS). Wow, this is a really good monitor. starting to stutter though. I don't know. 19,973. Okay, so we went up 2,000. That's pretty good. So I would say, I think it's safe to say this is a successful overclock. And now I do with this what I do with the rest of my finished systems. To the closet you go. Now, oh, before I overclock server, before I do that, because it's basically the exact same things, only difference is the RAM. I'm just gonna build a new system. Open inventory and go to cases. Kind of want to do a build in a Core P5, but not the Green Edition because the Green Edition looks awful. Okay, so there we go. I'm also going to do a custom loop in this one. Actually, I think I'm going to do, instead of 2080 Ti's, I'm going to do water-cooled 1080 Ti's as well. Let's go ahead and motherboards. Okay, apparently you can't put an EATX board in this. I want to do a gigabyte board. Thinking this one. Go ahead and open all the M.2 drive spaces. I'm gonna fill all 3 slots. Yeah. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open, well, I'm not going to use every RAM slot. Okay, so processor, I'm thinking i7-7820X, so the Extreme Edition i7, or one of them. I know there's a couple. Let's go ahead and put thermal paste on that. Go ahead and add our USB drive. RAM. I'm thinking T-Force Delta RAM. Four gigs, 8,000. Actually, I may just use all the RAM slots. This stuff looks too good to waste. I hear fire trucks in real life. Apparently someone's house is on fire or something. Or it could be my neighbor because she's getting really old. And one time when her and her daughter and her family were installing a new stove over there next door, it electrocuted her and they had to call 911. They've had to call 911 quite a bit. She's had a lot of health issues her entire life, and she's almost 90 years old. And pretty soon she's gonna have to be put in a health home, like the old people homes. Alright. Now, I'll add storage later because I want to add as much storage as I possibly can. So now, I think we're ready for the water cooling stuff. So let's go ahead and get a 360 rad. Put it there. Reservoir. CPU block, graphics cards, and SL. I don't know why they do that, because they're 1080 Ti's, and they put the RTX bridge on there. I don't get it because there's no way that would work in real life. The RTX bridge should I'm positive the RTX bridge only works with RTX cards. I'm positive of that. So I don't understand how that would work. Whatever. Alright, now, I think I'm gonna do just simple, well, yeah, I'll do hard tubing on this one. I was gonna do soft tubing, but no, I'll do hard tube. I think in black and purple in this one. Just for fun. Just change it up a bit. Okay, and then go ahead and get our custom cables. And go and plug everything in. Okay, now storage 4 terabytes. Oh, no room for that one. Okay, so that means I can go ahead and remove this because I won't need it. So I've got 12 terabytes of store, well, 3 960 gig M.2s and then 12 terabytes of hard drive space. So that's a lot of storage in this thing. Okay, now for tubing. Thinking run out of the res into this one. There we go, that tube's done. We're gonna go ahead and run this one into that one. Wait a minute. Why does it look so weird? Okay, so that's out, so it needs to go in right here. Good. That runs out of the CV block into the rad. That looks good. And then out of the rad, back into the reservoir. Good. Okay, so now all we gotta do is fill the loop, and we're good to power on. Where's purple? Now I get to sit here and watch it fill. Okay, so apparently it's gonna be like purple and pink because that purple cable looks pink compared to the liquid. Okay, now all I gotta do is put the case back together. Okay, so now it's good to power on. Now I just gotta adjust the RGB lighting. This might be the last one I overclock before I end the stream because it's been going on for a while. Okay, so rain overclock 2400, okay. $2,400 max is 2666 at 1.4 volts. Bam, that's done. Now we gotta run 30 mark. Oh, first adjust the lighting. Bam, there we go. Purple and pink. Now we wait. $14,679, my lowest 3D Mark score yet. And now CPU, so up the voltage to 1.70. Up that 5 ticks, and now let's apply it. Oh wait, I forgot to write down the 3D Mark score. Hang on. 14,679. I might have to do a stream on Just Cause 3 soon, because my birthday was 2 weeks ago, and I bought Just Cause 3, and now I really want to stream it. Okay, so I got that written down, so now, LCT. Really? It blue screened already? Go ahead and bring that down one then. Still throttling. Jesus. Yep, throttled again. Okay. We should, but it didn't blue screen, so we should be able to just bring it down one more and it should be okay. watch the throttle. Okay, yeah, so this is good. Okay, so we were able to, the CPU originally was 4.3 megahertz, and we were able to get it to 4.4. Okay, so it overclocked at 102%. So now, I'm going to go ahead and overclock the GPU now. Once we overclock the GPU, I think I'm going to end the stream right there because I really want to play Just Cause 3. And this is just a PC building simulator stream, although I promise I will stream it soon. Okay, so now okay, that's, well, I'm gonna go a little bit farther. Okay, yeah, that's good. So now, see what we get in 3D Mark now. I don't know if you guys remember, but If I remember right, last time I did a PC Building Simulator stream over summer vacation back in 2018 with the old server, I upped the CPU clock a lot, just for fun, because I had no idea what to do with overclocking. I had no idea how to do it, and so I ended up just like completely breaking the CPU. But we went up 2,000 again. We had, before it was 14,679, and now it's 16,839. So we were able to get it up a lot. This system might actually stay here for a while, I don't know. One thing I can do, y'all, is go ahead and remove my USB drives. I'll need that. Alright, well guys, this is going to be the end of the stream. If you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what your favorite part of the stream was. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.